Hello everyone, my name is Julie Jean Bassett. I am an animal communicator and pet behavioral specialist. I use energy healing techniques to help resolve behavioral issues in our animal companions. And today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about cats peeing outside the litter box. There's a number of reasons for this. I'm going to go into them in a lot of detail because a lot of this you can resolve yourself. And one thing, when cats pee outside the litter box, it's trying to get your attention. It is, when cats misbehave, they're often trying to get your attention because something is wrong. And often, if there's no other changes, often it will be because they have a physical issue, a medical issue, like a urinary tract infection, in which it's making it very hard for them to pee, and often they're straining, often there's blood in the urine, or it could be crystals too that are going to cause the same type of symptoms. But either of those, it's important to see a vet because they're going to prescribe antibiotics and whatever else that cat needs. And then once that issue is resolved, the problem is resolved, and the cat will start using the litter box again. The other thing, a reason why a cat might not use the litter box is because they are declawed. And declawed is like cutting off the tips of your fingers. And it's very painful, or it can be very painful. And some of the litters are too sharp and will irritate or hurt their paws. And so if it's hurting, they aren't going to want to use the litter box. And older pets with kidney disease or arthritis sometimes have trouble walking up to the litter box and going over the side, because the sides are raised so that it keeps the litter inside. But sometimes cats have trouble going over that if they've got arthritis and it hurts them. Kidney disease or diabetes, and I'm sure there's some other medical issues. They have incontinence and they can't make it to the litter box before they have to pee. So if you've got an older cat, you might need to put another litter box closer to where they spend most of their time. So it's a little bit easier for them to go to. And sometimes you can get a litter box with one side that's a little bit lower, and that will help the arthritic cats to get into the litter box. Also, look at your current living situation. Is there more stress in your household? Have there been a lot of changes? Cats do not handle change well. And they'll often let you know about it. Are there new cats outside? Cats are very territorial, and if there's a new cat outside, it might make them nervous, because whenever they're going to the restroom, whenever they're doing their business in their litter box, they are their most vulnerable. And so if they don't feel safe, they're going to go somewhere where they do feel safe. And as far as the stress goes, I had a client that the cat was peeing on her son's bed. This was the son's cat, kept peeing on his bed, and several times a day sometimes. Well, her son was autistic, and he would play his video games. And the cat didn't like that. The cat wanted attention, and so it'd say, okay, I'm gonna pee on the bed, and that way I'll get some attention. And so it'd pee on the bed. When her son realized that, he started, paying more attention to her. The other thing is, they kept locking him out of his room at night. Well, cats are one of our healers. And so when the cat got locked out of the room, it would get pissed because it was supposed to be healing that boy while he slept, because she wanted to sleep with him. And so once they realized that, they started leaving the door open, and she would sleep with him in the evening, sending her healing energy to him, and the peeing on the bed stopped. So there's little things like that. You need to check and see, are you under more stress? Have them in a lot of changes going on? Is there a new cat outside? Is this a medical issue? The other things that it could be is the cat just doesn't like the litter. If you go to the store and they're out of your brand that you normally buy, and you get, a bargain brand that, hey, this is cheap, let me go try that. Or, you pick another brand out, a different type of litter, because the type of litter too, sometimes they like the clay, sometimes they like the pellets, sometimes they like the fine sand, sometimes they like the crystal. It just depends on the cat. And if you have more than one cat, they might have different preferences. So, because even with humans, one size does not fit all. Normally you can get one litter that they all agree upon. If they don't like the litter, one of the ones that I've had success with is Dr. Elsey, Elsey, Cat Attract. And what it does is it's a very fine sand, so it doesn't hurt the paws. Because especially kittens have very sensitive paws, little paw pads. And so regular litter often will hurt them. But this is a fine sand, it clumps, and it has an attractant in it to help them to use the litter box. Now, I'm not being reimbursed. This is not a paid testimonial or anything for Dr. Elsey's. This is just one that I've used that I've found that works. There might be other ones out there. I do not know. The litter box itself. Did you have kittens at one time and now they're grown and now they maybe outgrown the litter box? So you might need to get a bigger litter box. Some cats don't like the covered litter boxes, even though it's nice to keep all that out of the way and kind of give them a little privacy. Sometimes they feel a little claustrophobic and don't want to use the litter box. Also, robotic litter boxes, how nice it is to have it automatically clean, but sometimes the noise scares them. Sometimes it being covered makes them feel insecure or scared and not safe. Because when cats are going to the litter box, they're at their most vulnerable. If they don't feel safe, they're not going to use it. I also mentioned about the arthritic cats getting a litter box that has a lower side on it so it's easier for them to get in. Also, it's very important to keep the litter box clean. You wouldn't want to go in a dirty restroom, would you? Well, cats don't either. They are very clean. I had one of my friend's cats, actually, she put little paper bags next to the litter box, and the cat would scoop its own litter and put it in the paper bag. I've never seen that done. I believe this friend of mine, but I wouldn't want to go in a dirty restroom, and I'm sure you wouldn't either. So cats are the same way. They're very clean, and they like a clean litter box. The other thing is they recommend one litter box per cat. So if you have 2 cats, you want 2 litter boxes and then plus 1. So for 2 cats, it's a good idea to have 3 litter boxes. Now, I had 2 cats and 2 litter boxes. I cleaned them out twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening, and we were just fine. I didn't have any problems with that, but you need to do what works best for you. The official recommendation is 1 per cat plus 1. Let's see what else. Just kind of going over my notes to make sure I didn't miss anything. You know, and sometimes it might take a little trial and error. Like if they discontinue the litter you were using, you might have to get a couple different brands until you find one that is acceptable to your cat. They've got different textures too. You know, they've got pine pellets. To me, the pine pellets smell very strong, and cats' noses are very sensitive. So I don't know any cats that use the pine pellets. I've heard some people like it a lot. It just depends on your preferences and the cat's preferences. The crystals, I think, are a little harsh on the feet, but some people love them. It just depends on what you can get your cat to use. So keep this in mind, you know, the medical issues, any additional stress within the family or a new cat outside, the type of litter you're using, the litter box, also the position of the litter box or the location. If you've got it where there's only one way in and out, like in a closet or a laundry room, they might not like that. They might not feel safe, especially if you're doing laundry in there and the cat wants to use the litter box. They might not like the noise. Cats' ears are very sensitive, as are dogs. I had one cat that wouldn't use the litter box because I did have it in a laundry room. And what she showed me she wanted it was behind a chair, because there was one way, there was, you know, 2 different ways in and out. So she felt safe that way. So it just depends. You know, remember that this is the times that they are most vulnerable. They're not going to use it if they don't feel safe. If you've got a cat that's a bully and is always watching him or her when she uses the litter box and sometimes attacks, they're going to go somewhere where it's safe. So just some things to keep in mind. I hope this was helpful, and have a great rest of your day or evening wherever in the world you are today.